Trump is already, well, I guess this is the second round of him bitching about the debate. I mean, he is so afraid, and it's wonderful to watch him on the back foot. Trump has been now all of a sudden saying, I don't think I'm going to agree to the debate. I don't want to do it. Before he had said that he wasn't going to because of ABC. And now the campaign has a new excuse because apparently Kamala Harris very smartly doesn't want to use the same rules that Biden used the first time around in the debate, which was that the microphones for each candidate would be muted when the other one was speaking. We criticized that decision by the Biden administration. By the Biden campaign heavily at the time, because if you guys recall, in 2020, the debate where Trump had his biggest meltdown, where he was sniffling all the time and acting hysterical, was when he was on the defensive and he kept talking over Biden. And that was kind of the death knell for his 2020 ambitions. And so making him look crazy by having him interrupt her all the time, especially now that he's running against a black woman, that benefits Harris, no doubt. But I guess these were rules that Biden had already agreed to about the microphones being muted. And Harris is saying, hey, we should change those rules. And Trump is outraged about it, right? Or at least that's the excuse that they're giving. Because at the same time that's what the Trump campaign wants to emphasize to the public, like, oh, it's unfair on that front. Trump can't help himself but return to personal grievances and his complaints about the fake news over and over again, and bias and oh, woe is me. This is what he had to say yesterday at a campaign stop in Virginia. He's asked by reporters about this, about why he's indicating that he may not want to do the debate with ABC on September 10th.
President Trump, would you want the microphones muted in the debate whenever you're not speaking?
We agreed to the same rules. I don't know. It doesn't matter to me. I'd rather have it probably on, but the agreement was that it would be the same as it was last time. In that case, it was muted. I didn't like it the last time, but it worked out fine. I mean, ask Biden how it worked out. It was fine. And I think it should be the same. We agreed to the same rules. Same rules and same specifications. And I think that's probably what it should be.
He's not picking out rugs.
But they're trying to change it. The truth is they're trying to get out of it because she doesn't want to debate. She's not a good debater. She's not a smart person. She doesn't want to debate. Okay?
They're trying to get out of it. No, that's you, buddy. Yeah. So, again, the campaign line wanted to be that they're changing the rules. This is unfair. It's the Harris campaign's problem. But Trump has to go into the personal there and say she's not a smart person. It was a really dumb idea to begin with. And this is Biden's fault, as many things are recently. Agreeing to that just made sense for a guy, I think, that seemingly maybe would have issues hearing, say, the moderator speak at the same time as Trump speaking, right? It was tailored to that situation. But even then, as I just said, nothing could have saved Biden's performance in that debate.
Yeah, they were trying to find, here's where we put the gutters down in bowling, any possible thing we can throw to save a guy who is clearly not competent to do what they're asking him to do.
Yeah, and so it makes sense that the Harris campaign wants to change course here. But every time that Trump complains about this, especially from his own mouth, Harris isn't going out there and talking about the microphone rules. This is all happening with the campaigns behind the scenes. But he's also sending out guys like Byron Donalds to argue for him. A representative from Florida here went on Fox Business yesterday and is, trying to make this Mike storyline work.
So will there be a debate to sort all this out for the undecided?
I do believe there's going to be a debate, but I would tell President Trump and his team to keep the same rules from the Joe Biden debate. And let me be very clear as to why. The reason why Kamala Harris wants to change the rules now to have open microphones is because she wants to interrupt Donald Trump. She wants to be able to create a spectacle out of this debate, which would prevent her from actually being forced to discuss public policy, discuss her positions in detail. She wants to create some sort of moment, some sort of YouTube spectacle that can be replayed so she can hide behind the debate as opposed to talking about the policies that impact the American people.
Hide behind
she wants
the
to be able
debate.
to create this moment where she owns Donald Trump for 10 seconds. That's just ridiculous.
Sounds
It's not
scared,
what
Byron.
matters in our country. Donald Trump has debated everybody from Hillary Clinton to Joe Biden, all points in between. He can definitely debate Kamala Harris, but it is in the
With the
interest
red
of the
mute setup.
American people that Kamala Harris is not allowed to make this debate a spectacle. It has to be about the issues facing America, because she has serious questions that she refuses to answer. And the way they're campaigning, the only way the American people will get a straight answer about her policy positions and the thought process behind them, and that's very important, the thought process behind them, is if she actually has a very clear debate with Donald Trump, where both people have an opportunity to express themselves without being interrupted, whether it be by the moderators or by the opposing person. Kamala Harris wants a spectacle. She doesn't want to debate on issues. That's why she wants to change the rules.
Oh, yes. So this is the reframe. They want it to be that she's changing the rules. So they're putting this out there that this is what the Harris campaign is lobbying for.
She's gonna bulldoze me.
I mean, okay. So I love
She's like
watching
Zion going down the lane.
this whiny little campaign just fall into just slip into the warm bath of the Hillary 2016 vibes here, okay? Don't campaign too much in the swing states. Just don't do it. Just don't do it. I mean, use an algorithm to figure that stuff out. Just
Complain about your opponent's manners.
yeah, talk about how mean they are. Talk
God,
about
it's weird. That's
they're
not nice.
interrupting me. They're great. Oh, Trump doesn't want
shots at me.
Trump does not want to be interrupted. Trump does not want to be interrupted at the debate. Actually, I mean, it's really a beautiful blend of Biden 2020 and Hillary 2022 as well, where you got the age stuff. Trump's now, making the campaign into his own, like, kind of personal ambition for the presidency, or making that the sole focus, as opposed to in 2016 where he's like, I'm going to give you health care, I'm going to end all the wars or whatever. He's running basically as a neocon. We played that yesterday with his Iran fear mongering, again, shades of past failed campaigns, making it about foreign policy and like his own desire and selfishness in that way. It's just not a winning message.
You don't think the winning message for Trump is to tell the American people that he's being bullied away from talking policy by Kamala Harris?
I don't think has anyone ever heard about the boy who cried wolf? Like,
He is just whiny now. Like, you read
Whiny.
his tweets, and it used to be funny, like, but even now when he tries to throw in his little insults, it's like you are writing like 1,200 words whining right now.
yes.
No, he's really doing the equivalent of like the Luka Doncic, like red-faced, I got fouled and
Right.
and won't run back on defense.
He's trying to work the refs.
Yeah, it is total ref work.
He's
That's
crying
all
for
it is.
mods, save me here. Where are the moderators? Where are the microphone
They're calling
muters?
me weird.
Harris put out,
If she calls him weird at the debate, he will lose his mind.
it's going to happen. Let's put up the statement that the Harris campaign put out there. I just sent it to you, Bradley. This was what they had to say in response to microphone Winegate. Their reaction: we have told ABC and other networks seeking to host a possible October debate that we believe both candidates' mics should be live throughout the full broadcast. Our understanding is that Trump's handlers prefer the muted microphone because they don't think their candidate can act presidential for 90 minutes on his own. We suspect Trump's team has not even told their boss about this dispute because it would be too embarrassing to admit. They don't think he can handle himself against Vice President Harris without the benefit of a mute button. What I like about this here is also that they're goading Trump into responding, because and agreeing honestly to their demands, because if it's portrayed as if his handlers think he can't hack it without the mute button, then perhaps he changes course on this front. He doesn't have the leverage here. He needs the debate, is the reality. He is losing. Harris has gotten a 2 to 3 point convention bump in polling averages, and that's still rolling out as we speak. And before that, the momentum had already begun to swing in her way. And RFK not being able to get himself off the ballot in the key swing state of Michigan is significant. So we shall see.
Genius. Well, I
But-
mean, you didn't think to check that?
I know. He basically
busy lifting weights.
waited until he ran out of money. The worm was telling him just stay in a little bit longer and maybe you can get 5% and become a party on the national level. That was their aim. He's staying for that reason on the ballot in non-swing states, but
With spoilers like this, who needs dark horses?
right. They're not sending their best.
What I find pretty incredible about the Donalds thing too is like Donalds is giving like his usual. That's like sort of how he talks rhetorically about basically any issue, which makes it seem like he's saying something like very serious and calculating and like stern and discerning and shrewd for Trump to like why Kamala Harris is doing this. He's really, when you read the tea leaves though, he's basically just saying Kamala's gonna embarrass him and we can't have that. And if she gets a soundbite that is distributed widely over and over and over again for the next 2 months, like Trump is going to have a world historical meltdown that we as a party cannot come back from.
Yes.
Because I mean, it is the imagery there that would play a lowest common denominator, which is a younger black woman telling an old white bigot, say, shove it.
Yeah.
And that, like, regardless of any content that comes out on the longer form review of the debate, I think they're right that that's not a good look for Trump. There's no image that will come out of that where Trump looks good in a snapshot.
No, and you know, she in 2019, it was in 2019 before the 2020 campaign, she tried that little girl was me thing to hit Biden, you know, before he selected her as VP, because there was a profile of Kamala Harris in the Washington Post this weekend about how she was one of the first kids in the school busing program to integrate the schools in Berkeley, which was voluntarily done in California in that area, as opposed to imposed in other areas of the country. And at the time, Biden was advocating for even a constitutional amendment to prevent school integration via busing. That was why she hit him on that in the debate. Now, you know, I maintain that I think, you know, Biden's racism was also a big part of why he was selected in 2008 by Obama to quell some of those fears. Like, that's the kind of guy he is, unfortunately. I think she's an improvement in that regard, but also that tactic outside of a Democratic primary where a lot of Democratic voters don't want to think about the vice president to the first black president as a racist who eulogized Strom Thurmond, but you go after the guy who is widely known to be extremely racist with that tactic, much more effective, and he's worried about that. And last thing on this, it's like, what are we doing here? Debates should not be like little segmented 1-minute statements where they can't interact with one another, just on like a fundamental level about what a debate should be. They should be forced to interact. They should be forced to crosstalk. That's how this thing works.
I would like a formal written debate segment where they, expend themselves at length and reply to each other's responses, maybe in the papers of record. But we got to play this up for television. So we accept this as like the number one like medium for truth, and it's absolutely ridiculous.
This is the television country. Are you thinking?
It's crazy. Neil Postman was right. That's all I'll say.
If we did written debates in newspapers, do you know what the level of like turnout would be for the election? I feel like just like we elected the reality TV
We could
guy
have
for
people. We
president.
could have people act them out afterwards. Maybe.
You volunteer?
No,
I'll do it. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
No, we need
I was
to-
thinking like Morgan Freeman and I don't know, other people that are really good and
Yes.
has gravitas. But
There we go.
We need two people yelling at each other as to who wants to be more energy independent.
Yep.
That's what the country needs.
Yep.
it could be George Clooney versus John Voight, like reading the written.
Are the two
debate
most
out.
powerful celebrities in the country.
Patriots. The jackal is coming, and her name is Kamala Harris.
Okay. Easy now.
Hey folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.